Hello everyone, so before we get into the tutorial of this video, I just have something else I'd like to say. So I had bought these two Breyer models as body models for customization purposes, and you can see they look like this now. I had customized them a few years ago, and now I am not so happy with the result. I had used acrylic paint and now I'm better with pastels, and I think it gives a much nicer looking result. So I plan to re-customize them. Now the reason why I'm telling you this is because I figured if I'm going to customize them, why not do a tutorial on how to do that? So I'm probably going to be filming the baby since it's easier to film a smaller model like this, and I'm going to do a tutorial on how I customize them with pastels. The reason why I bring this up is because I actually don't really know what color I want them to be. So leave a comment if you're interested in suggesting a color, and I will pick one of the colors that you suggest. Just remember, if I don't pick the color you suggest, it's nothing personal or anything. I'm going to probably pick the color that comes up most often, unless I really do not want to do that color for whatever reason, because this is a long process and I have to be able to like this process and like what it's going to turn into. So if I don't really like the color choice, I will be less likely to want to continue doing it. So I will pick the one that comes up the most and the one I like the best. And the other thing I'd like to mention is that I do not want to paint them into dapple grays, simply because I have actually done that very recently. So let me know what color you'd like to see a tutorial on, and I will leave my own comment when I have picked what color I'd like to do. So with that being said, let's hop right into the video, and I hope you enjoy the tutorial. These are my 3 saddle pad patterns. I made them myself and you can print them out with following the link in the description. They are meant for traditional size Breyers, but you could try resizing them for whatever size model horse you'd like. I am going to show you 2 methods today, and the first one is a no-sew method. I will be using the English saddle pad pattern as my example pattern, but it can work for whichever one you want, or if you want to make your own. Some good fabric choices for this method are felt, a faux sheepskin type fabric like this, and fleece. Fleece does have a little bit of stretch, but I prefer fleece over felt, which is why I'm going to be showing you how to make it with fleece, but you could use any of these types of fabrics that you'd like. Felt is also very cheap, so that's good. So all you have to do is pin your pattern to the fabric and then cut around it. If you don't have pins, that's fine. You could try taping it to the fabric or just holding it there as you cut around it. But I would not recommend tracing around it unless you want to use chalk or something. Don't use a pen or a permanent marker, as those lines could be transferred to your horse. But that's all you have to do, and it's really, really simple. The next one is sewn, and I will be using this pattern as my example pattern, but again, you can use whatever one you want. And you will also need some fabric and some quilt batting or felt. So the first thing you're going to do is take your quilt batting or felt and lay your pattern on it. Then you're going to take a pen or a pencil, whatever you'd like, and trace around it. This one's fine to trace around, you will see later why. And then you want to cut around it, leaving a good seam allowance. I have about 1/4 inch there. Then you can lay that on a piece of fabric. It just needs to be a nice thin fabric like a cotton or a polyester, one that you like the color of and kind of looks like a saddle pad. Then you're going to cut 2 of them, like what I just did here. Then you're going to lay one of them good side facing up, the next one good side facing down, so you should have the 2 good sides sandwiched together. I cannot speak. And then batting or felt right on top. Next, you're going to sew all the way around following the lines on the batting and leave an opening at the bottom. So it should look like this once you're done, and then you just have to trim off the extra batting and fabric. And don't forget to trim little notches where it goes, if it's round anywhere, so depending on what pattern you'll be using, you won't have to do this, or you might have to do it more. Then you're going to flip it and make sure to grab the hole that is between the 2 pieces of fabric like I'm doing, not between the fabric and the batting. Otherwise, you're going to have batting on one side and then fabric on the other, and that will not look very good. Then you're just going to take something to push out the corners, and you're pretty much done. All you have left to do is fold this extra inside the opening and then top stitch all the way around. You could use a matching thread, or I used white because I kind of like the way it stands out. And then you're done. It's super simple, especially if you already know how to sew, and it's a really good beginner sewing project. So I hope you enjoyed these 2 methods on making Breyer saddle pads. Don't forget to check out my 2 saddle videos if you'd like to see how I make both English and Western saddles. There will be links in the description for both as well. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.